Black Satellite, and that was No Warning. Really cool song. I really enjoyed the vocals. Like, it really kind of stood out and kind of dug it right away. Like, really kind of, very catchy. And it's kind of a sad thing that they kind of just literally went MIA.
Did they?
I haven't heard Hide No Hair from them, and I've emailed the singer a few times and haven't heard anything from him, so I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, that's a real shame. I mean, I thought that was really exciting. That kind of sounded like it had things like the Datsuns. It had that kind of influence or that kind of feel to it for me. And it had Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, one of my favourite bands, a brilliant band live. It had that kind of tonality in it, but kind of BRMC on speed almost. It was I don't know, that was cool. I really, really like that. That's a shame if they've disappeared, because they're cool.
Well, I think we need to resurrect those guys, because I think when they wrote that song, I think what they did was they sat down and they said, okay, we're going to write 5 parts of the song with different tempo, and they all have to kick ass. And once we get them all together, we're going to put it all into a song, and it's going to be awesome. And that's what it truly was. I mean, if you listen to every single part of that song that had a different tempo beat to it, it was fantastic. It was one of those, they had that slower, that tom and bass thing going on. It had the progressive, straightforward beat that was like, a standard awesome rock beat. These guys, they dialed it down. They knew what they were doing. It was like they took a formula and just, made it into a great song. And that's the best thing that you could possibly do. And it's a shame if these guys aren't around, because they found the formula for Coca-Cola, man. Rock music. They need to do it. We need to get a shovel and dig these guys up. Where are they?
Right on. Well, the next up is a brand new song by the Wild Young Hearts of San Diego, California. This one's called Hoodlums. Dig this.
Just 2 hoodlums far from home, with nothing to regret, chasing back our alcohol with coke and cigarettes, making memories on these cold suburban streets, screaming out in desperation, all we want is restoration. Just like speeding cars, our hearts are racing, and this is all we are, so strung out on love. All us hoodlums from this town, we really make a mess, mixing weed with Adderall to block out all the rest. We can feel it in our hearts, we can hear the rage. I'm so sick of everyone telling me to act my age. Just like speeding cars, our hearts are racing. This is all we are, so strung out on love. Just like speeding cars, our hearts are racing. This is all we are, so strung out on love. Just like speeding cars, our hearts are racing, and this is all we are, so strung out on love. Just like speeding cars, our hearts are racing, and this is all we are, so strung out on love. Just like speeding cars, our hearts are racing. This is all we are, so strung out on love.
The Wild Young Hearts with Hoodlums. This is off a new album, which I'll be doing a review on very, very soon. and we have a couple more songs over the next few weeks. But great tune because these guys are just like pretty much pop punk, you know, kind of like a Blink 182 sort of mix sort of thing, but a lot of fun to listen to and very very cool lyrics and just pretty much chill.
Yeah, to me it had I could hear like a little bit of kind of placebo, early placebo, that kind of thing in there. And weirdly, I don't know, like now I'm saying it, I can't put my finger on why, but I could kind of hear Crash Test Dummies. It had that kind of, only sped up. Do you know what I mean? It had that kind of thing in it. I don't know why, but hearing it, that's what came to my head, which was cool. I love the Crash Test Dummies. I thought it was a really good song.
It was definitely, it's definitely a different feel. You know, it's funny because they say, you know, Brian, you had said, you know, that basically, you know, you got that Blink 182 feel, and there was a few times in there where I heard that, and I was saying the same thing, like the first time I was listening to it. I'm getting a little bit of a Blink vibe from these guys, but at the same time, it's like a little bit more subdued and maybe like a little bit more rock going on.
Right.
And I was really into that. I was like, it's cool because it was a little bit more straightforward and maybe not as like kind of like all punk. It had a good vibe to it. So I was definitely into it. And I thought the vocals were a little bit more unique in that they blended well with the music better. So I was into that too. I was digging it.
Right on. So next up is anyone from the Squeeze Condition off their new album We Defy Oblivion. The one's called Unforgiven. Dig this.
The body's wasted, all skin and bone. Inside this carcass you call your home. I can't help notice how hard you try. You try so hard to fit in, it's like suicide. A body broken is meant to heal. Too bad the fissure is never sealed. Our bond is broken. Who can I trust?
Right on. The Sweetest Condition with, you know what a great tune this was. And it was Unforgiven off the new album, We Defy Oblivion. And I did have the opportunity to talk to them on the show. They came on for an interview, and they'll be back on NMS soon to do some reviews with us as well. But great tune, and you know, just like we've compared her to Amy Lee from Evanescence, and like, you know, she just has such a great vocals, and like you were saying, Brian, the production is just absolutely outstanding. Like, it's a great tune.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, like, totally blew me away. When I listened to their album, I mean, it sounded like they spent $1 million on it. And, you know, I mean, while we were listening to it right now, I said, this is one of those bands that I need to meet, but I need to go wherever they practice and record, because I would totally geek out on everything that they do. They're so good that I need to see everything that they're doing. And this is one thing that I really love about music. And you know, whenever I watch live bands and stuff like that, I totally geek out on that stuff. I want to see what they do. I want to see how they do it so that I can get really excited about stuff like that, because these are the bands that get me really excited as an artist. And I really like to totally appreciate everything else that everybody does. And when we get a sound like this that sounds that awesome and just has so many awesome qualities to it, I want to know how it's done. I want to know what the special sauce is. I want to see what they're doing. And the music is just so awesome. They take such good sounds, and just everything sounds like $1 million. It's just, they fascinate me. That's truly what they do. They fascinate me. So I'm totally excited about this band, and I totally geek out on them every time I listen to their album.
Mike?
I actually think fascinating is the word. I completely agree with everything you just said. And I was saying, you know, it's the way they got that mix of sounds that, you know, they've got the real nice synthy stuff, they've got the really clean, almost classical sounding piano, and then they've got the kind of new metal, dirty Marilyn Manson style guitar, and then this, like you say, the vocal is, you could easily put that as Amy Lee from Evanescence, but equally you could go, well, that's a bit like Madonna, or that's, you know, it's that kind of thing. If was it Frozen by Madonna? That was actually a really good album, or a really good tune. It's there's so much in that, but not in the way that you go, oh, this is confusing. There's so much in it, and it all fits so perfectly together. I mean, you know, since I first heard this, which was again on this show probably back in November or so, this band, and you sent me some stuff. It's been on the car. I drive a lot in my job, and it's been in the car a lot. It's really addictive.